My friends, this is Hired Done. My name's Adam Helfman. Little blustery cold morning we have here at the Hired Done Radio Network studios. And yeah, I'm a little under the weather this morning. A little bit of nasally, got a cold, big deal, right? Nothing's stopping me. Anyways, in studio right now, Jacob Vanvliet from J&A Exteriors, one of the fastest growing, highest quality gutter contractors in Metro Detroit. And I've known him for a few years, and I wanted to talk about 2026 with him this year. And if you need gutters on your house, what are the questions to ask? We're going to ask him, or we're going to talk to him about the questions. We're going to talk about color choices, why prices seem to be creeping up. What do you need to do as a homeowner? Do you really even need gutter protection? And those are the items that we're going to be talking about today. And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome back to the Hired Done Radio Show, Jacob Vanvliet, J&A Exteriors. Good morning, Jacob.
Good morning. How's it going, Adam?
I am running about 70% today.
Yeah.
Can you tell?
Yeah. No. I could just use you sound a little stuffy, but
a little stuffy. Nothing, right?
The same energy as
stuffy,
normal.
luffy, right? Hey, it's all good. It's all good. So Jacob, introduce yourself to the Hired Done audience for 2026 and tell everyone what you do and how great you are.
Yep. So my name is Jacob Vanvliet. I'm a 22-year-old business owner. I started the company J&A Exterior in 2020. Well, we just kind of talked about 2022. The beginning of 2023. Our first year, we were mainly just doing Christmas lights and gutter repairs. And then we kind of found the need to get into another bigger, higher ticket service that our customers were kind of already in need for. Us being up on the roofs and being, pretty able to move around up there and already have the qualifications and the certifications to be up there. We started doing the cleanings, and then that led us into the installations. And yeah.
So when you say cleanings, you were washing roofs?
Kind of. More so when we started things off, it was just cleaning the gutters.
Gutter cleaning.
Yeah. So cleaning the gutters, smaller repairs. It was more so just stuff that we were already up there doing the Christmas lights. So we, the customers asked, hey, can you take care of it while we're up there? And then we decided, let's start marketing for it. So
how soon that you started doing gutter cleaning and you were doing Christmas lights originally, how soon did you know that, the money's in gutters? Or how many customers in was like, oh yeah, right away, everyone needs gutter repair, gutters this, gutter that?
Yeah. Well, I think, when we first started off, we were doing a lot of random services, and I think gutters was one of the things where it was very niche. There wasn't a lot of people doing it. And I didn't see a lot of competition in that field. With the gutters, really, that was the only other construction-based service that we could offer besides doing the cleaning itself. Obviously I had, other things in my mind, landscaping, this, that. But I found that gutters is very niche, and there wasn't really a lot of high quality companies around the area. If there was gutter companies, or if there is gutter companies in the area, most of which are just, truck in a truck or Tim in a toolbox, just them and their son, or just them and themselves. Right.
It's hard to get quality in someone that's organized, calls you back, shows up when you're supposed to.
Yeah, and there's only a few select businesses, like gutter businesses in the area, that are actual, I would say, run like an actual business. So that's what I'm trying to do, within building an office staff and a sales team and marketing team, and actually try to have a real company,
So you started your gutter business before you could even drink alcohol legally?
Yeah. I could only drink alcohol legally up until last year.
Isn't that interesting? It's a unique situation. At your age, that shows a really good entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
Which is good. So you've got momentum. Mm-hmm. You've learned a lot. Let me ask you, let's review 2025.
Yep.
Okay. You had your best year ever as far as volume.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
You learned a lot.
Yeah.
What was one of the most valuable lessons you learned? Whether it's either you screwed a job up, or a homeowner didn't pay you, or you hired friends, you got taken advantage of. Give me a lesson, or something that someone who's listening to this morning can say, oh boy, I'm glad I heard that, because I don't want to repeat that. Yeah. What do you think?
So kind of a business owner, I always look at it in the perspective of, like, obviously you want the best for you and yourself to be able to have your company and your business, succeed in the ways you want. But I think a lot of business owners struggle with trying to maintain their employees and keeping them happy. And that's kind of, I guess, leads into other areas of things where, if they're not happy with what they're doing or taking care of, sometimes it might not feel like, they want to not respect you, but just not care as much. And at the end of the day, not put their best effort forward.
Sure.
So one thing that I've kind of learned off that is, hiring a lot of people. We have a lot of employees now, but obviously I've had to get to that point. I've had to hire and get rid of a lot of people to get there. And one thing I've kind of noticed is if you treat, the people around you how they want to be treated and how you want to be treated, it really does kind of do wonders.
Absolutely. It's called company culture.
Right. And the biggest kind of thing with that, and I explain to people, is like, if when you're just starting off, if you have $3,000 worth of work plan for the week, and your other helper or worker is costing you an extra $1,000, right? So you're making $4,000 or doing $4,000 in work that week. If you don't have work on Thursday, it might seem in your best interest, hey, let's just call him and say, hey, I don't want you to come in, I'm not going to pay you, and you can just come back tomorrow. And as an employee, I see that as well. That's not really a legitimate job. It's kind of more of a part-time thing if I can't always rely to have that income coming in. So I've kind of I'm not paying people to not work, but it's more so like, when things don't go wrong for you, you have to look at it from the employee perspective, as in, how would I see this from their shoes? Obviously people still have bills to pay and things to take care of. So we've kind of trying to look at it that way a little more, as in like a long-term thing where, if guys are willing to show up and do what we need to do, even if it's, costing us a little bit more money that week, at the end of the day, that's a happy employee that's willing to show back up and do the work that we're willing to, provide.
Interesting.
For. So
interesting take on that. I like that.
The only reason why I got into that, just because we've hired so many people this year. I think we have 14 employees now. At one point in summer, we had 24. So, and we just in the past 6 months, I think got rid of 6 people. So it's not, again, I'm not saying it's a good thing to get rid of people and hire people, but obviously the talent's there, and if you can treat your employees with respect, I'm sure that they will give you the utmost quality of work that you can provide for your customers. So
makes perfect sense. We're talking with Jacob Vanvliet from J&A Exteriors. He's a really, really good gutter contractor in Metro Detroit. And Jacob, you're talking about employees, you're talking about growing your business. That's the thing. When you hire someone, they take the job expecting to be working all the time.
Of course.
So if there's not enough work during the week, that's a situation that comes back to management and growth, right? Planning you said you had 24 employees and you're down to 14.
Yep.
It's tweaking the flight controls. Basically, 100%. You have this big airplane, you get it off the ground, now it's flying. And that's the J&A airplane. And you want to get some lift, you need more business.
Right.
But to do more business, you need more employees. It's a balance that.
And then you need more management to manage
Correct.
those guys. Yeah.
Correct. And one of the things that is I was taught as growing up in the home improvement business, my father always told me this little tidbit: overhead kills and profit thrills.
Yeah. And
I'm like, oh yeah, Dad, of course we're in business for profit. Big deal, right? Yeah. But he always said to me, watch your overhead. And it took, when I was 22, I didn't even give a crap about what he was even saying then. Yeah. I'm being honest, Then all of a sudden, over time you evolve and you're like, oh, I get it now. If you have, like you said, $10,000 worth of work for the week and your labor is $9,000, and then you got $1,000 in material labor, you just made no money. And guess what? You are the one, as the owner, not getting paid that week. Yep. Now, it happens all the time.
Yeah, that happened many months throughout. I mean, not many months, but there was 2 months out of the year where that almost happened, or it did happen in my business, where it's, you're doing, wow, I just did 250 gutter installs this month and we didn't make any money. You know what I mean? And
well, that's the thing. You got money owed.
You have 5 crews going out every day with 3 to 4 guys in each one. And then you got 3 sales guys and an office manager and a marketing manager.
Right.
And
it's a lot juggle.
100%.
That's interesting.
Where, when you get to that point, I think that the businesses that do reach that level, there's a reason why they have that superior price mark. And I know that a lot of companies, as they get bigger, they up their pricing, which again is mainly, now I'm starting to understand the reason why, is because, again, I mean, we can, if I didn't have any employees, we could sell our gutter for $2 or $3 less a foot than we do, and we'd be probably the cheapest guys around, because
but then you wouldn't have
to install.
It's not about cheap,
right?
It's all about quality,
right? 100%. But I was just kind of referring to, well, we wouldn't have any problem getting any calls if we were the cheapest and the best, if you know what I mean. But we don't want to be the cheapest. I don't want to be the cheapest guy around.
No, you want to have the best reputation with the best quality.
For sure.
None of that comes at the lowest price. Yeah. It's that simple. So the key here is managing a business and managing the business, plus focusing on quality. And if you manage that with quality, you should, end result, have profit.
Yep.
A lot of people say, "Oh, I'm chasing the higher margins." I know a ton of contractors who run in the red,
Yep.
meaning a loss until like almost July, August of the year. They got enough money to cover their overhead and they're going along, but then the wave crashes towards the last quarter of the year is when they go for all their profits. And then in the same time, that last quarter, you're also running to check and collect the last amount of money, because it becomes, when you have a lot of volume, like you said, 250 jobs in a month, let's just use that example.
Right.
Of the 250, there's a chance that 25 of them haven't paid you yet.
Oh, more than that. Yeah.
I'm out of town, the credit card, whatever it is, they say, hey, I need an extra week, whatever it is. Then what's your average gutter job? $1,200, $1,000 or whatever?
Probably $1,500.
Okay, so let's say $1,500 and you have 20 jobs. So that's $30,000 of money owed.
Yeah.
And that's pays salaries, it pays insurance, it can pay overhead. So chasing the money it's almost like a full-time job. It's frustrating. Yeah. So
that's what our office manager has to do. That, I mean, not every day. It's her kind of on her list to check over owed invoices, and I mean, I know there's a set percentage that you're supposed to kind of aim for what it should be owed and open and paid out to you. It's just always hard, because one thing that we kind of strive on and tell our customers that we don't require any money up front or anything like that. Right. So we really don't see any money until we fund the entire job, which is selling the job, going out, getting the materials, buying the material, installing the job, and then still waiting to get paid most of the time until sometimes even a week or two later. Like you said, they're out of town, they're not home, things like that. So
248-927-1985. That's the text line here in Hire It Done Studio. Again, 248-927-1985. If you have a question for Jacob from J&A Exteriors, whether it's gutters, gutter protection, even Christmas lights, or even you do rotted fascia repair, right? So all that. Give us a text. We'd love to hear from you. It's also Shout Out Saturday if you're a contractor and you want to get a shout out for us. We'd love to say hi to you on the air. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about what are the popular gutter colors in 4-inch, 5-inch, 6-inch gutters, and gutter protection. Is it necessary? We're going to ask those questions when we come back. My name's Adam Helfman. This is Hire It Done on 101 WRIF, everything that rocks.
Of kitchen remodels and just home office remodels and doing things to impact how they're spending more time at home. I think now we're going to see that kind of matriculate into the exterior. It's like, all right, we got our kitchen done, we got this. Now we want to be able to expand that to more outdoor seating. We want outdoor TVs, we want outdoor sound, we want the experience to be in and out. When we're entertaining, we want to see that connection of people are in the kitchen, people are on the deck, people are on the patio, people are everywhere, but they're all sharing in that same experience. So you don't want to go outside and it be,
That's a great point. So the migration from indoors to outdoors, but that transition is less of a open the door wall, walk out, and it's a separate space. It's more of we'll call it, using your terms, a holistic staycation.
There you go. Yep.
And that way we can tie in designs. We can take from the inside of the house and carry the designs outside. Yep. There's a lot that can happen. Me, I love barbecuing. So for me, I have a pizza oven. I have an outdoor pizza oven. I want to do, that whole thing. And so you're speaking my language.
There we go.
Yeah. And I have a stressful day from work. And so do a lot of people. They come home. They want to take a deep breath. Yeah. Zen, right?
Yep.
Chill on the back porch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just feel like you're in a space that's safe.
Yep.
That gives you the energy or the holistic feeling where this is my house.
Yep.
I agree with that. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In Michigan, we only have so many months, of wonderful weather, but maximizing on that, I think people are, really concerned with, when the weather starts to get nice, is I want to be able to be outside. I want to utilize what I have. And, there are things that we can do with exterior screens and everything like that to kind of take you into the winter months while you're still able to utilize outside with the fire going and keep some heat inside to be able to move in November and December and still be able to enjoy outside.
Great point. Great point. So if a homeowner's thinking of doing a kitchen, they're thinking of doing just redecorating the inside of their house where they're not adding square footage, but maybe taking a wall out, or they need advice.
Yep.
Can they call Simmons & Co. Design?
Absolutely.
And you guys can make an appointment for that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We love to get started on projects early, so sometimes if you're not going to be ready till 2026, but you're thinking about it now, I mean, frankly, now we're only doing 2026 projects. So, now is that, but if you're saying, I want to kind of like see what the options are, we may not be ready right now. Give us a call. We want to talk through it because some of it is just prep and just making sure to know what you're preparing yourself for, understanding budgetary restraints and where you are with that. Do you need another year to save up for what you want to do? That's perfectly fine. Let's be on the same page and kind of work our way through it.
So if you're thinking of getting a room addition or a major project, you better start now, friends, in the fourth quarter of 2025.
Something about.
Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. We're having a great interview right now with Jacob Vanvliet of J&A Exteriors. Welcome back, Jacob.
Thanks for having me, Adam.
It's always a pleasure to have you in studio. At Hire It Done, we celebrate young entrepreneurs. We celebrate people that are getting into the trades, that are taking a serious approach, are responsible, and looking to grow and looking to satisfy homeowners to the level that we require here at Hire It Done. And we keep it simple, Jake. We were like, Jake or Jacob?
Jacob.
Don't matter.
Whatever you like.
Okay, we're gonna call you Jacob. I like Jacob. Anyways, Jacob, what we'd like to do is we like to find contractors who homeowners brag about.
Yep. Because
if the homeowner's bragging about you, it seems to be logical that everything else has fallen in line. You did what you said you're going to do. The work is good. They're happy. Mm-hmm. You've improved the value of their home, and you got paid. Isn't that like how it should be?
And the communication was key throughout everything. Yep.
So the nucleus. So let me just say something. You just hit the ball right in the bullseye. Whoops. Anyways, my whole point is communication, and I say it on Hire It Done always. The nucleus of home improvement is communication. Successful with a contractor relationship with a homeowner. Sure. Gutters are not easy to do. They're not super complicated, but every house is different. You're up on a ladder. You're up on the roof. So let's walk through a typical job. Mm-hmm. Homeowner calls you up, hears you from the radio show. Like, yeah, I think I need gutters. Yep. What's the first step?
So our office manager, Jennifer, would walk them through our kind of initial screening process, getting all their information taken down, how they heard about us, email, phone number. They would get them set up with a time that works with them and our estimator. So usually we have multiple estimators that are kind of available basically at any point free. That's how their schedule works. So whenever a customer calls and asks, we see a time that works for them. We schedule it with our estimator. They go out there. They walk through everything, our entire process, show them our actual products, samples, examples, customer reviews, pretty much everything they need to know. And then they get sent a video kind of before that on, what to expect during that estimate. So they know, hey, when they come to my house, this is what they're planning to do. So they already know what they're expecting.
Let me stop you right there and ask you a question. So homeowner calls you over the phone. you get information and you make an appointment to come out and do you do any satellite photos beforehand or not really?
Typically we'll just pull up the roof report so we get enough footage so we know how big the house is. And then we'll send over our reviews and a quick 30-second YouTube video just to a link on what they should expect when we actually arrive at their home.
So I'm the homeowner and I get up the phone with Jennifer. She's your coordinator.
Yep.
And Jennifer says, Mr. Helfman will be there Tuesday at 10 a.m.
Yep.
Does she also say, I'm sending you a text with a link for a video? And the video is just a brief intro on what we do and how we are and what to expect.
Exactly. Yep. And then a text message and a confirmation email that gets automated, and it'll send 2 or 3 times between then and the time that we're actually out there.
Is there a way that you can track if they've watched the video?
There probably could be if we were to figure it out. We don't do it now. It might not be a bad idea, but typically we're going to go out there and do exactly what we said in the video anyways. So once we get out there, we will, again, discuss with the homeowner, see what their concerns are before ours. So we always want to address, hey, what are you calling us out here for? Why did you think you need new gutters, right? Because sometimes they don't, right? Sometimes people call us out and they might just need a repair done. So not a lot of people know.
What about when people have rain coming off their roof and they can see the gutters are leaking in the corners and overflowing everything?
Yep. So
like my house.
We'll obviously probably let them know, obviously installation or new install might be best. Then we decide whether a 5-inch or a 6-inch gutter would be best suited for their home and within their budget. So obviously we tell everyone, if you have the money to go with a 6-inch gutter, we probably suggest that. Now, it's not always needed and it's definitely not always required, but we do, and we know it's a better system. So that's kind of why we try and push that. So after we go through everything with them, we will provide the customer with a estimate. Now, one thing that we don't really do and that a lot of companies kind of, I wouldn't say strive themselves on, is we're not going to sit there and push you. We'll give you the estimate. If you don't like the price, I'm not going to say we aren't going to ask why, or trying to figure out if there's, a reason why or any type of situation that might hold things up. A lot of times they're getting other work done, so they might have to wait for the paint to get done or a roof to get done, which is a lot of the times, especially when doing gutters. Gutters are more of a finish work thing that you do.
Yeah, it covers up the fascia
after the roof. So, we will provide them with the estimate. If they decide to move forward with things, then afterwards we will decide on color. No matter what, if we decide that we're doing the job then, or we might not do it, or we may do it, we take a job video. All of our estimators are required to take a job video of walking around the house, showing all the information about the gutters.
Checklist.
Exactly. So how it's set up now, changes we're making, changes the homeowner has talked about, or concern areas. So when the installers get there in the morning time, the installers of that day, when they go to do them, will watch that video, review those notes, so they know exactly what to expect when they get to the house.
Is the homeowner get to see that video?
We make it to where it's customer friendly to send them. That way we can say, hey, if you have any questions, make sure you revise this video so you can let us know anything we might have missed or recapped or said incorrect.
Yeah, well, you know what? Video, we'll call it video proof, video evidence. A lot of times in the previous study, this homeowner will be like, oh, you promised me this, you promised me that.
Yeah.
You're like, no, we didn't. Right. Yeah, you did. I remember, and sometimes you did. And
that's why we started doing these videos.
They're very, very smart. The other thing is sometimes homeowners will get 3, 4, 5 bids and someone else will promise them and they'll blame you and think you did it.
100%.
So video doesn't lie. I think that's very smart to do that. Measure twice, cut once.
Yeah. And obviously sending a formal documented quote that they can sign and agree to the terms by and see the payment terms. So that way, everyone's on the same page. But once things are confirmed, we'll get their materials ordered in our shop, send them to our shop. And then same process as getting the appointment scheduled. Jennifer will reach out, get a time that works best for you to actually come and install them. So we don't tell you, hey, we're going to be here this day. We try and figure out when works best for you. Obviously, if you can be home, that's best. But if not, it's no worries. We'll come and install, and then another job video will be taken afterwards to show me and the other manager in case there's any errors afterwards, so we can look back and say, oh, well, I can see in the video that he did this wrong or he did this like this for a certain reason, right?
Okay. Makes perfect sense, and I agree with that methodology. We're talking with Jacob Vanvliet from J&A Exteriors. Don't forget, text us if you have a question about gutters, 248-927-1985. That's the Higher Done text line. Shout out to Mallory. She's listening out in Birmingham on her house. She might need gutters. I know she needs a backsplash. Getting all that handled. What up, Mallory? Hope you're doing well. So Jacob, let me ask you. Mm-hmm. People are like, oh, gutters. I can go to the big box store and get gutters. Right. I can get them anywhere. Is the gutters that you sell basically the same everywhere?
No, and that's kind of one thing where gutters
There is a
are,
difference.
yes, and gutters are a very niche service to offer. Almost, I won't say almost, but a lot of trades you can go and do without really any equipment, right? Obviously, you might
Sure.
need your hand tools and things like that, but all that stuff is feasible. You can't go to your regular store and buy a gutter machine, right? So that's kind of what you would need to be required to install seamless gutters, which is what we install versus your
Define
typical. Yep. So
what is tell everyone who's listening what the definition of seamless
yeah,
gutter.
so seamed versus seamless is very simple. If you were to stick two pieces of really anything together, you're to push your hands together. You have a seam between the middle now. There's a gap, right? So whenever you install gutters yourself or with go get the product from Home Depot or Lowe's or a big branded store, they only sell certain length gutter, right? I mean there's no way you're going to be able to put a 50-foot gutter in your truck, right? So I think the biggest they sell is 12 feet. You can sometimes find like 15 footers. And the only reason I know that is because we used to offer them way back when we would tell people, hey, we don't have a seamless gutter machine, but if you need new gutters, this is the only way we can do them. And that was right when I started cleaning. So quickly we realized, hey, this is not the way to be doing things.
It's a gutter machine. It's in the back of those trailers in the truck. Are they expensive?
Yeah, they're very expensive. Well, I wouldn't say very expensive.
20 grand?
Yeah, they're about 20 grand. So,
wow.
Yeah.
You have a handful of them.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of those things where I say not everyone can go do it. So usually most people that are coming to do your gutters, if it's them doing it themselves, they probably will be or should be at least somewhat decently qualified, because to be able to work that machine, obviously most people wouldn't just buy it without having the prior experience to it. I myself was a little bit different. I bought it and kind of realized, all right, well, I can figure out how to use it once I get it.
Right.
I know that everyone uses one that does gutters because it's the only way you can. So that's really the only difference. Seamless gutters are really the only thing that we suggest doing. There's no point of putting a seam in the middle of, you wouldn't cut your pipes in your house and then glue them back together, right? You want to have everything smooth and seamless to where it doesn't drip.
Okay. And that's smart. So again, gutters aren't sexy.
No.
However, it's a necessary evil. Your house is your biggest, investment basically for most people. The roof sheds water.
Yep.
Water goes into the gutters and then gets shed down the sides and out. If the gutters don't do their job, you could damage your house.
Yeah,
the siding, the roof,
thing,
and also the foundation,
landscaping, everything. Yeah.
And now I don't know if you've noticed. Did you ever see me on the news recently with doing the gutter with the pantyhose?
No.
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 Jacob, are you living under a rock, son?
You said that earlier.
I'm kidding. So to prevent ice dams,
a
lot of gutters get full of water from the heat loss in the house. The heat goes into the attic,
right?
Then it melts the snow.
Yep.
The snow melts off the roof to the gutters. The gutters are on the outside, freeze, fill up with ice and freeze.
Yep.
You take pantyhose. Do you know what pantyhose are?
Kind of.
Okay. Stuff women wear.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You snip off the leg and you fill it like a tube full of ice melter. And you put it in the gutter. And then it prevents the ice and water from the roof freezing in the gutter because the ice melter filters it.
Yeah.
And then it drips it down.
Did you do this?
What's that?
You do this? Or
Yes.
This is just something you've seen?
No, I do it all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In fact, I wear a pantyhose. I know Roberto wanted to hear me say it. Yeah, like Superman. Actually, if I'm going to talk superheroes, but no, we're good. No, Jacob, the reason why I say that is because, there are a lot of home hacks and things you can do to prevent it. But people, does that make the case for gutter protection?
Kind of.
What is gutter protection? Why would anyone put gutter protection on? Tell me what reason.
The main reason, and really the only reason we try and tell customers to install gutter guards or push the gutter guards is if they have a lot of trees around their home.
Got it.
There's many other benefits to gutter guards. There's also a few downsides, and there is downsides to gutter guards that people don't always know about that we like people to be aware of before installing them, that we like to know, hey, it's not a double-edged sword, but there is a few things that you are going to have to do differently or maintenance a little bit differently than you would if you had gutters without the guards. So one thing that people don't understand and that we kind of see as a big misconception is that you don't need to ever clean your gutters again if you have the gutter protection. That is just not true. There's gutter companies, a lot of bigger companies that'll go around and say, hey, you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Install these guards. You'll never have to maintenance your gutters. Leak-free gutters for 30 years, right?
Right. Never do it. It's all BS. It's
Yes.
fuzzy math.
And the reason it's really simple, the way to explain it is if you have a piece of metal on top of your gutter, it doesn't matter how much water can get through there, how much debris can get through there, how much debris can stay not going through there. Over time, debris will build up on top of that guard. I don't care what kind of guard it is. It doesn't matter if it's mesh, aluminum, if it is supposed to jump the leaves off the gutter, if they haven't made that yet. So, but that's kind of something where really the only gutter guard that would actually be to where you wouldn't have to maintenance would be almost like a conveyor belt system where it would have to dump the leaves off and then reset itself, which has not been invented yet. So that's
what's stopping you?
That's something that we've thought about already, but
gutter robot.
Yeah. But no, so that's kind of why I say is don't let people or other companies tell you that you never have to clean them again. We let all of our customers know that it is a lot less maintenance than not having the guards, especially if you do have those trees. If you have a lot of trees by your house, we maybe say 1 time a year to clean them, maybe, versus your typical 2 to 3. If you do have a lot of trees and you don't have those gutters,
Sure.
those guards on. And then at that point, it's like an investment. If you're going to pay us a couple $100 each time to clean them, within the first year, you're going to spend $600. If the gutter guards cost you $1,500, well, 3 years of those cleanings would have already paid for the gutter guards, but you only have to clean them once every year or so now. So it is kind of an investment if you look at it in that perspective. And that's kind of how we show it to our customers, but we don't always try to push it. Like I said, if it's not needed, we don't tell you that it is needed.
So in the short span of the last several years that you've been in business,
yep,
what's the biggest cost increase? Labor, materials, advertising, marketing? Which one really hit you the hardest?
I would say with us trying to grow, efficiently and fast, marketing is definitely something that I think I spend more on in my business than other contractors would. But again, that's something that
is there a percentage of sales, like 10%, 15%,
we have
20%?
When we do our P&L and our spreadsheets, we have a percentage breakdown for everything. So our set expenses, our payroll, our material. Now, obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but we over the past 2-3 years, we've gathered data to kind of allow us to make those numbers and make those choices. Materials, though, have gone up 45 to 50% over the past year. Aluminum has. So that's kind of where
it's another crazy.
It's crazy.
Metals.
I mean, our supplies are almost double what they were last year. Now, it's not like it's like, hey, we can't go out and do the work anymore, but we might be charging an extra $1 or $1.50 a foot now versus what we were charging last year or 2 years ago.
So you're trying to keep up with inflation,
yeah.
But
still be able to provide that.
Are you hiring?
Yeah, we always hire. We're always hiring.
But what is the ideal candidate for gutter installer?
Yeah.
Let me see. Tell me what you want him to be. Or
honestly, we look for 3 things. And
a heartbeat, a pulse.
Okay. 2 legs. No. We really only look for a few things. And the reason being is because gutters, again, they're not rocket science, but if they're not done right, they're done very wrong. Right. So we have a training system that is not, again, we're always working in progress.
Almost like a mentoring type
yeah.
thing.
So if you go, we have like a landing page. It's called Notion that we use to kind of organize our whole company structure. There's a training system in there that has videos on every single thing you would ever need to know as an installer, whether it's loading up the truck, cleaning the truck, sealing a corner, installing a gutter, measuring this, that. So there's probably 100+ videos that we have. And then there's a couple tests and evaluations. So everybody that comes on, they have to go through that before. And that's something that we started doing this year because it seemed like last year it was just a lot of, hey, come help me, come help me, come help me.
Right.
And now we have real employees now that are trained and we give them a certification. I'm not going to say it's some, huge OSHA standard certification, but we give them a certification that says that you have successfully been trained in gutter protection, successfully been trained in gutter installation, gutter cleaning. So they have to learn each category and then we allow that. So I would say hiring wise, we look for 3 things. It's hard work, willing to show up on time and actually be there to do the work.
Be responsible.
Correct. And then someone who honestly, and it sounds not bad, but just who's really not afraid to be on a ladder or be on those heights.
Yeah.
Those are really it. And someone that's somewhat okay or being able to work with their hands. So if they've had some similar or past experience working in the trades or doing any type of like carpentry work.
Well, let me just say this. I think what you have is a great stepping stone for young people, because college isn't for everyone.
Right.
And there are kids who are responsible and just looking for something to do every day.
Right.
There are people who don't want to go to an office and sit on their butt for 8 hours, right? Yeah. There are people who don't want to work and think they can just sit online and make money that way as like a creator. Yep. So there's the far left and the far right extreme. In the middle is someone who's like, you know what? I want to make good money.
Yep.
I want to be able to show up, be told what to do today, go out and install 800 feet, 600 feet of gutters, whatever it is.
Yep.
And, get paid on Friday.
Yep.
Rinse and repeat. And then there are people who will be like, this is cool. And there's people that aren't. Now, is there a profile of the person that you're looking for to do the installs? Is it a younger person or it doesn't even matter?
Honestly,
responsible.
One thing that we've kind of had a lot of like weird feedback, I would say, or like, I guess, I don't know what the word for it. I can't come on the top of my head, but the way that we've hired, we have people look at it in one of two ways. Either people think that we have a lot of young employees, which we do. And that's more so in the fact of I'm younger and it's easier for me to communicate and get along with those younger generations. But I will say the main reason for it is because when I first started things off, I always thought like, oh, the worker or my employee can't be serious. Homeowners won't take them serious unless they're so old, right? Unless they're this, that.
Right. There's a perception.
Right. And so what I've kind of gathered is, and as a business owner, it's like, that's obviously something that you don't see as a customer, but it seems like a lot of times with the older guys, not that jealousy comes into play, but with me especially, that there was always some type of wanting more, asking for more. And honestly, the guys that we have that are a little bit older or had when we used to hire like that, we got rid of for the reasons that they really are just lazy, to be honest, or not lazy, but we could get a lot more done with a 22-year-old that's willing to show up and work every day. That, not saying he doesn't have much for himself, but he doesn't have a family. He doesn't have this, that. So it's kind of like, I would think of it as myself. If I had a family to take care of and people to provide for, I would want to be working harder. Right. But it seems like kind of how we've learned so far is hiring older. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. Most people, in business that are over the age of 20, 25, whatever it is. But that's just kind of my personal experience with it. Like I said, I don't care if you're 60 or if you're 20, but our experience is easier to find those guys that are willing to get up in the ladder, willing to take those risks, willing to want to learn your systems when they're younger, right? When you're older, not saying anyone's more stubborn, but you're more naturally pulled towards your ways, right? So I do it this way and I do it my way.
There are people who have habits.
Mm-hmm.
Over time.
Yep.
There are people who feel like I've done this longer than you, so I know more than you.
Exactly.
It's very difficult. And I can see that situation arise being an entrepreneur as youthful as you are.
Right.
I get it.
Yep.
But there's also the way to learn from other people's experience.
For sure.
Smart people learn from their mistakes.
Yeah. And so that's why
wise people learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
You should be wise.
We have probably, I would say 6 out of our maybe 14 people worked for another gutter company previous.
Okay.
Or a very similar related contracting company, whether it's like fascia metal or anything like that. And we definitely, whenever we hire someone, if they have prior knowledge with past people, I don't try and say, hey, let me steal their information, but I, implement anything that's like, hey, how did you guys do this beforehand? Did you guys, when you ran the gutters out, was there a way to set them, or is there a way to put them here? Is there a way to seal it better, right? Is there a better sealant that we didn't know about that maybe your boss told you about that's like a secret, right? So we've kind of, again, when you bring new people on that have that experience, you have to look at it as, okay, how can I take information from this guy and how can I give this guy information to make sure that he doesn't do these old things that his old boss had him doing, right? Because some people will say, oh, well, no, I already know how to do it. I've done this before, but they're not doing it the way we are doing it. Whether or not it's right, whether or not it's wrong, whether or not they think they're right, whether or not they think they're wrong, we install it a certain way. We provide our homeowners with a warranty that it's done a certain way. Of course. So we want to be able to stand by that when we do our work.
No, I understand that.
Yep.
That's actually smart. So you're constantly evolving. And that makes a lot of good sense. We're talking with Jacob Vanvliet from J&A Exteriors, gutter protection. Now, how often, Jacob, do you have a situation where you go out and measure and you give the homeowner the price and the homeowner then says, okay, let's get started. Then you get started and you find out that there's rotted fascia or soffits. And is the homeowner made aware eventually before they
Of course. So we, in all of our proposals, whenever we do that walk around, like I mentioned to
Yeah.
you, we will look out for fascia, for soffit rot, things like that. Our inspectors they go through a small process that kind of allows them to check that. Again, there's no perfect way unless we were to get up there with the ladder and go around every square or every linear foot of the home on the fascia and tap it with a crowbar or with a cat claw. There's no way for us to tell.
You
right?
don't have x-ray vision.
No,
Why
exactly.
Come on, Jake.
But we can get a good rough idea, right? If we see that there's 3 corners that are rotted, we'll plan, okay, 10 to 15 feet for a corner, 3 corners, that's 45 feet. We let all of our homeowners know whether or not it's included in the estimate. It does say in all of our quotes that the fascia price will be this if found during our installation, and it will cost this much per foot.
Do you stop the job and get approval, or do you do it and then at the end say, "Oh, you owe me an extra $600"?
No, that's one thing that I would hate if I was a homeowner paying for something is I thought that was $2,000. I should be paying $2,000, not $2,500, right? So we let the customer know up front, hey, there's a chance other things can get added on, like the fascia.
Yeah.
Like if we come up with miscellaneous things, we're not going to call them and say, hey, it's a little harder than we thought. We need some more money. No, but if we come up with, we have to require more work to be done.
Makes sense. I like that.
Like the fascia. So we definitely include the information on what would need to be done. And then if we find it, we would let the homeowner know this is what needs to be done. And we do try and paint and prime the board before it goes up. So that way, when the gutter goes behind it, it matches with their home. We don't want to put up a white board and then black gutters on their tan looking house. Right. So we
that's the thing.
We paint it, whether before it goes up or after it goes up, before the gutter goes up, to make sure that it matches for their house. So yeah, it's definitely something that we offer.
Okay, so that's a good thing.
Most homes have rot. They don't know that. And so we keep it in the truck for every job because, again,
would you have smooth and rough sawn?
Yep. So we have 1x8, 1x6, 1x10, rough sawn, and smooth. We actually, the rough sawn, if you flip it to the backside, it's smooth. So we just use one.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Good idea. Now, when you cut out, let's say, an 8-foot piece of rotted fascia. Let's say it's rotted for like 3 feet.
Yeah.
Do you go a foot on each side? Or you just cut 3 feet out? What do you do?
It really depends on how bad the rot is. We typically take an extra 18 inches or so after the rot. Okay. Because if you don't, there's a chance that the inside of the board is rotted and you don't know that, right? A lot of times you'll think you're good, you cut it and it'll just cut right through like butter. It's like, okay, I probably need to move even further down.
Okay.
But one thing is, there's a lot of times where it's just the corners, right?
Yep.
When they start to leak over time, that wood will go bad. And that's the main thing that we see with new gutters is the corners leaking, or with old gutters, the corners leaking, which is causing their wood to rot in the corners.
Correct.
So,
okay. So what about when a homeowner says, I'm not going to pay the extra, I don't want it done? Do you just document and just put the gutter over rotted wood?
Nope. We don't do it. We tell the homeowner, you're going to have to get it fixed because we can't warranty our gutter unless we fix that wood, because the hangers, our brackets, won't necessarily hold properly.
So the guarantee and warranty goes hand in hand with rotted wood.
Correct.
What is your warranty for homeowners?
3-year labor guarantee and a 25 material warranty.
So 25 years.
Yeah. 3 years if there's any issues, whatever it may be, whether it's...
Okay. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We've got Jacob Vanvliet from J&A Exteriors in studio. We're talking about gutters. And when we come back, we're going to talk about this outlook for 2026 and pricing. I want to get down nitty gritty. My name's Adam Helfman. Keep it locked in here, my friends. This is Hire It Done on 101 WRAF. Everything that rocks.
No more spaces for Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Wait a minute. You won't finish the kitchen before Thanksgiving?
No more spaces.
Maybe by 2026.
We're still getting those calls. It's a no.
I bet you are. Oh, I believe it. It happens. So let me ask you this, because I don't deal with this a lot, but I've recently had a question about it. I had a homeowner call me up and say, Adam, we're thinking about doing a major renovation. What architect do you recommend? That's what they said to me. And I'm like, you want to find a design build contractor.
Right.
Do you get that question often where people are like, oh, well, we're going to meet with architects, and you can be like, well, to be honest with you, we do the architectural plans in-house, one source accountability.
Sure.
Are you seeing that?
Yeah, sometimes we get it. I mean, we have various architects that we will work with for certain things when we need to. Obviously, if somebody's doing something as far as a super major addition, they may have an architect first that then comes to us. We have a couple of architects that send their clients our way, after they've done the design plans. And then we come in and take it over from there. So it's not necessarily an issue for us working with architects. We find most architects, I don't want to say most, but the architects that we work with are not interested in material selections or interested in interested in execution. It's like they want to deal with the structure of how much square footage does the client want to add on, or how does this, how are we going to tie all of this in? And we're happy to take the project on from them at that spot. So I still think it's a team. The relationship, that you're connecting with, architect, design, build. When clients try to connect trades together that don't know each other or that don't work well together, it really sometimes can create, not that anybody's bad, it just creates, there's a flow in a project, and you have communications half the battle. So you have to speak the same language.
And if the flow does get interrupted, that becomes an issue and a headache. And it goes back to what I've always been saying. And you, as a homeowner thinking of hiring a contractor, design build, someone with design expertise like Veronica, the key and the nucleus of the entire process is communication.
Period.
Would you agree?
Yep.
Right?
Period. I mean, that's period. It's not, and it's so simple, but it is
easier said than done. Very challenging, correct?
Yes.
Right. So the point is, why I say that, friends, is because when you have a good architect, and you have a good designer, and then you have a good contractor, and then you have a homeowner, that's 4 people, right? Somebody needs to rise to the top and be the leader, the charismatic person that can tie everyone together. In my opinion, it should be the contractor.
Correct.
Homeowner's always the one with the golden rule, they rule, but there's got to be a general, someone in charge. And I would say it's the contractor. Would you agree?
I would agree. Yeah, there's got to be somebody looking out for the best interest of everyone. And that's the GC, that's the contractor, is making sure that not only is that communication between all the sources great, everybody's communicating to the GC, but that the information that they're sharing
Welcome back. This is Hired Done. My name is Adam Helfman. We've got Jacob Vanvliet in studio, J&A Exteriors. Jacob, welcome back, my friend.
Thanks for having me, Adam.
Got a question for us in studio, 248-927-1985. It's the Hired Done in studio text line if you have a question for Jacob. So Jacob, let me ask you a question. Let's learn a little bit about you. Mm-hmm. Okay, you have a great TikTok channel. Yep. And Instagram, what is it, J&A, or is it Jacob?
It's just my first and last name on most platforms. We do have a social media account for our business. It's just J&A Exterior on all platforms. And then my Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of that it's Jacob Vanvliet, ITS Jacob Vanvliet, or just Jacob Vanvliet.
Got it. Which of the social medias do you prefer?
Instagram and TikTok. We just started, honestly, like about 3 weeks ago with the social media stuff. So we've always done it, dibble dabbled here and there, but we never actually took it serious. But I like your
live action stuff.
Yeah. So we're starting to post more stuff about me, and kind of the back scenes of the business, but that more so instead of just like commercial style.
Yeah. You know what? I agree with that. In fact, that's what I wanted to ask you.
We want to learn you and not necessarily always just what it is that you have to offer. Right.
Do you have any hobbies?
There's stuff I like to do for fun. I'm a pretty active person. Like to go snowboard and things.
Do you have are you in a basketball league? You play hockey,
I'll be honest. I like to do a lot of things.
You're not a sports guy.
No, I am. I used to play soccer growing up, my whole life basically. But I more so, I don't know. I work all the time. I'm not saying I don't. If I'm not working, I'm usually hanging out with my friends doing something, and a lot of the time that's talking about work or things to do with the business.
But you're at the age where that's what you're supposed to do.
And I have like 3 or 4 close friends, and two of those 4 own businesses themselves as well that are pretty decently successful.
Good for you.
So,
do you know who Pele is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Soccer player?
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm just asking. That was the guy my age. You're
Oh,
like a
yeah.
Ronaldo guy, right?
Yeah,
Rolando or
that's what I
something.
liked. Yeah.
Yeah. Pele was better. Just what we're talking about. It's like Jordan and like
I get it.
LeBron
Yeah, I
James.
get it.
Jordan wiped his butt with them.
You think?
100%. Please.
We're not getting in this debate.
No, we don't have to. So, do you have a favorite restaurant? Where do you live? Do you live on the east side?
I live in Macomb Township. Yeah.
What's your
So,
favorite restaurant or favorite food?
I like steakhouses. That's where you're talking about Prime and Proper earlier. I like that. I've been there.
Prime and Proper's
It's
good, right?
Very good. Yeah.
What about like Da Francesca's?
Yeah. Very good.
If I'm going east side, that's where I'm going.
Really?
Or Luciano's.
Nice. Yeah.
But I'm a west sider, so we stay on my territory.
I love Italian, but
Is there food you won't eat?
a lot of foods. I'm very picky.
You are a picky eater. I knew it. There's something wrong with picky eaters. So in the middle of the day, you're running around.
Yeah.
No one has time, especially in your business, to sit down for a lunch.
Yeah.
Are we talking Taco Bell? Are we talking Five Guys, Wingstop? Where's your lunch?
If I'm being honest, I don't usually eat during the daytime unless if it's like, all right, we're getting food, everyone's getting food, I'll eat.
Okay.
I don't usually go out of my way though to try to get lunch though. So usually I'll eat something in the morning time or coffee and have a small snack, and then I usually eat after work, which sounds bad, but it's not like I'm starving myself. I just eat a big meal after work. So
well, for everyone out there, Jacob is 22 years old, very successful gutter contractor, part of Hire It Done, pre-screened. The guy's fantastic for everyone out there, but he's at the age where he can go the whole day without eating. Me, I wake up, I'm hungry. I had a donut at the break. I've got coffee. I need a protein shake. I'm thinking about
that's
breakfast.
More than I usually eat in the morning time. Is that donut. So,
and then when I'm eating my donut, I'm thinking about what am I going to have for lunch today. And then at lunch, I'm like, all right, let's not ruin everything, but dinner's coming up, right?
I'm not saying it makes me feel super sluggish. It's just, I don't know. If I don't really necessarily, I'm not saying if I don't need to eat, I shouldn't, but I don't really find myself very hungry during the day. I'm usually pretty distracted. Yeah.
Well, you're running your company.
Yeah.
See, you have two ways to run the business. You work in the business and you work on it, right?
Exactly.
It seems cliche, but it's true.
Yeah.
So there are times where you get up in the morning, you get to the office and you're working on the business.
Yeah.
And then the employees show up because you're probably the first one there. And then they show up and then you're working in the business. All right, guys, here's our jobs for the day. Here, let's stock up. What are we low on? Yeah. All right, everyone, 5-star quality, things like that. Your camera fell.
That's okay.
And then we go, and then you're like, all right. Now, do you pay your bonuses on your guys if they get 5-star reviews?
Yeah. So we have an incentive. It's honestly, I will say it's more so good for me. A lot of my guys are very so for the business. So they're like, as long as it helps the company grow and helps us and helps you, I don't care if you pay me or not. We do give an incentive. It's $40 per review.
$40.
Yep, $40.
Fabulous.
And then all of our employees are incentivized to get us jobs. So if they have a family, whatever, or if it's even a neighboring customer, right? So we used to have it. We don't do it anymore just because it's kind of very time consuming. We used to have it's called AJM, after job marketing, where we would have our technicians go and knock on all the neighbors' doors and just drop a door hanger and say, hey, just letting you know we were at Susan's house doing new gutters. If you guys need anything done, let me know, right? Now we do that with our sales estimators. And again, we only really do it when it's summertime and when we've done work in the sub before, or it's a subdivision where we feel like, hey, the neighbors could use it as well.
I like it. But here's the thing. You can automate that. With AI today, you type in a homeowner's address.
Yep.
And the homeowner says, all right,
yeah,
J&A,
you can send them
go.
some mail or
Instantly, a postcard can be automated where it says, dear Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner. And within 3 days, pick 100 homes around the area.
And we do that with our best 3 jobs of the week. So we take our best 3 and we send postcards to the 16 neighbors around that house.
Perfect.
Of a picture of the house.
Saying,
make sure
we're doing this job.
Yeah, we just finished this job. And we have a picture. The guys always make sure that you can see the truck inside of the picture of the house. Yeah. And you can very clearly see the house that it's their house, right? So when they get it,
liability tip for you.
We make sure we blur everything out. The addresses, any license plates. Correct.
We just finished a high quality job in your neighborhood.
Correct.
They'll know. They see it. So that's smart. Do you track results on those though? It's hard to.
No,
it
is kind of hard.
Tracking everything is so difficult.
It is. Yeah.
I'll give you an example.
I
tell homeowners or I tell contractors, you have to track your leads with Hire It Done. And I'll do a test call.
You tested us last time. You tested Jen. You said we got a 9 out of 10 because she asked everything. And you said, where did you hear about you guys? Jen asked where. You said, I bet you she won't ask that. And I said, I bet you she will because she's trained to.
Correct.
She said, where did you hear about us? And then you said the internet. And you said that she could take it a step further by asking, what did you look up on the internet that made you hear about us?
So for everyone out there listening, Jacob from J&A just proved my point. Number one, I said he's a great contractor. And one of the reasons why I say that is because contractors who are great are ones that listen. A year ago, he was on my show and I did a test call with his girl, Jennifer.
Yep.
And she passed.
Yep.
Like literally passed, did a great job. Now, a year later, I asked him the same kind of question and he responded with, I remember, and this is how we do it. So for everyone out there, for clarity, really quick, when a homeowner asks a contractor, hey, I think I need gutters, and the conversation is going well, and then the person on the company side says, Mrs. Jones, how'd you hear about us? And most homeowners today will hear this radio show and then go online and click on Hired Done, or they'll click on J&A, or they'll type Jacob's name or social media. And then they'll tell the person from Jacob's company, yeah, I got you off the internet.
Right.
Perfect. All right. Internet works, guys. Google works. But the PhD level of this is, for every contractor who's listening right now, this is important. And for all homeowners, to be more specific, Renee should say this. Jennifer, not Renee, sorry. Jennifer. Apologize, Jennifer. 5-star for Jennifer, by the way. Jennifer should say, Mrs. Jones, when you Google gutter contractors, there's probably 200-300 that show up. Right. What was it about J&A that made you click on us or made you call us? Well, that's the second question. And the second question, my friends, is the best answer.
Yep. Oh,
I heard you on this home improvement radio show.
Right.
I heard or saw a video with Adam and Jake on social media, blah, 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 blah. So now Hired Done Check gets a little bit of credit.
Right.
And I have to teach my contractors that because Adam, we're not sure, but we think. I want people to be sure.
Yeah.
So anyways, I appreciate you doing that. And it's very kudos to you.
One step that we, kind of what you just said that you can kind of, I thought about just since you just said that, is you can maybe even eliminate it. Instead of asking 2 questions, just ask one, what made you choose us to?
Correct. You can always shorten things.
What made you choose us, or what made you reach out to us? Right.
Yeah.
That way it's like, oh, well, I saw you guys online, or I heard you here and it made me think of you. Right.
Yes.
One thing that with our Google page does very well. So a lot of times it kind of answers it in itself. I'd say we probably get 40% of our leads from Google, whether it be paid or unpaid. So they say, oh, well, I looked up gutters and you guys were the first ones to come up on Google. That's the best thing I like to hear, right? I'd like to hear that on every call.
Yeah, but what if someone's listening right now on their way to soccer practice with their kids?
No,
and they're like, I don't have a pen. I'm driving. I hear Adam and Jake. Right. And then I get home and I type Google gutters, and then they talk to you, and then it's exactly what it says, gutters, Google. Okay, great. I'm just trying to, carve out my own little slice of credit.
For sure. No, you did. And like I said, we definitely use it every day. Yeah.
So you think you're going to work on not having a record year as far as volume. It's more record quality.
We're going to try and we're going to try and stay kind of flatlined and try to hit the same numbers that we did this year. There's a few months in which I think we did more than we should have, and I think there's a few months where we did less than we should have. So we're going to try and even things out a little bit better. We're going to plan to have a really good and stronger winter season next year, which is already what I'm dealing with now. Obviously, with a lot of guys, when you employ a lot of people, it's hard to keep everyone busy in the winter time.
There's plans and things you can do to help them.
Yep.
Let me ask you, as we get towards the end here, you got this year all set. Homeowners who didn't buy from you last year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have them on a list? Can you send them a gutter special? If you haven't bought from us from last year, here's an extra discount, or we're raising prices. But this year, if you already called us once, we'll honor last year's price.
Yep.
Our price is going up this year?
By like 2%.
Okay.
2.5%.
So the cost of business is up, but not as bad.
Yeah.
So you
last year raised our prices by 20%. So I'll put it that way. And this year we're raising it by 2.5. So it's a lot less than it was last year. But again, we were also we were too cheap going into last year. So you and a lot of other contractors and just me, learning and getting to know this is what I should
Raise
be
your prices.
charging and this is what we're worth, right?
Well, you should always have a good value.
Right.
I checked your prices, and I've, obviously we've done a lot of work together. I send you a lot of work. I think you're right now, you're not the cheapest, but you're not the most expensive. You're right in the middle. And for anybody who's thinking of getting gutters today, give you a call. It's a free estimate.
Right.
What's the timeline, in your opinion, as we wrap things up? Homeowner calls you Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, they say yes. When can you do the install?
So we have 3 gutter install crews. One, we mainly try and focus on just contractors. That we keep rolling very quickly.
Yeah.
So if a roofer calls us and says, hey, I got a job and it's Tuesday, we can almost guarantee that job will be done by Friday, as long as we get that couple day heads up.
Gotcha.
Now, regular homeowners, again, I'm not saying you're not as special, but we have to be able to do that for roofers because they need it done then, right? If they're getting the roof replaced on Tuesday, they were told they're going to get the roof and gutters done that
So you
week.
work for a lot of the roofers.
Right. Are
there a lot of roofers you won't
are
work
our
for?
best friend. Yeah, there's some that I won't work for, but
And the reason because they stiff you, or is it because
just I don't know. It's not more so. A lot of people are cheap in that aspect. It's like, hey, I can get it for $3 or $4 a foot, which again,
go ahead.
yeah, it's most people will just deal with the problems when it comes to it at that point.
But
I would say about a week and a half to 2 weeks at the most.
It's perfect.
Yep.
And then on rain days, you guys work during the rain if you have to?
We do, but
Depends
it's
how bad it
obviously
is.
with precaution, right? The gutters themselves, one thing that's a misconception is it's actually easier to seal the corners when it's wet.
Okay.
Because it's easy. I don't know why, but it's easier. It doesn't stick to your finger. But it sticks to the aluminum very well. So one thing is people think you can't do it in the rain. You can definitely install in the rain. It's just with safety, right?
Give the phone number out for people who want to call and get estimates today.
So if you guys are looking for new gutters, gutter guards, gutter maintenance, anything to do with your gutters, 248-403-0281, or you can go check out our website at jaexterior.com.
Or, my friends, go to hireitdone.com, click on gutters, and you will get Jacob and
I was
his
looking at
team.
the other day. We are on there.
How about that?
I was watching all the podcasts. Well, not all the podcasts, but I looked through all the
Did
podcasts.
you see the new AI Adam section? Type in, go on, and say, I need new
You were
gutters.
telling me about it. I didn't look at it, though.
It's so badass. It's amazing. Anyways, Jacob, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Always a great interview. Keep up with the great social media. Hopefully we can do some reels together and with some gutter jobs.
Yeah, we're going to post some stuff from here today.
I love it.
You'll see it.
And everyone out there listening in Hire It Done land, if you need a contractor, visit hireitdone.com. I promise you'll be satisfied. If you want great advice, visit hireitdone.com. And I want to thank you for tuning into the show today and listening. Without my great audience, we wouldn't be here. So thank you. We're in year 21 now. Wow. And of course on WRAF, which is the best. Anyways, have a great weekend, everyone. Talk to you soon.